Hey YouTube, Nick from Motaniq here. Let's deploy OpenIAP on a local network with our own domain and SSL certificate. You will need to have Docker and Docker Compose installed, but you can check other online resources on how to install them. If you do install Docker on Windows, make sure to install it with Linux containers in order for this to work. First, head over to the Docker repository of the OpenIAP developer and download the DNS01 Docker Compose file. We will use this as a starting point. Create a folder to store the Docker Compose file and the domain provider API key. This key will be used by Let's Encrypt for the DNS challenge to issue a certificate and enable HTTPS on your domain. Next, we will do a couple of edits to the Docker Compose file. This particular configuration works with Cloudflare, since this is my domain provider. It should work with any other well-known domain providers. Check the traffic documentation on the variable names corresponding to each provider. Type your email address associated with your domain account. Remove this line as it is not needed. Rename this variable like so, in order to pick up the API key from the file. I will show you later how to get this key from Cloudflare. Find and replace the default localhost domain with the subdomain of your choosing. In my case, OpenIAP.motaniq.com. Also, you can choose to use the edge image of OpenIAP to use the latest available version. Next, I'll show you how to configure the DNS records in Cloudflare. Access your domain management dashboard, go to DNS records. Create an A record pointing to the local network IP address of the machine that will run the Docker Compose file. As you can see, we will deploy this instance on a local network so that we don't have to deal with security issues that come with exposing your services on the public internet. You can then VPN to your network to access the user interface if required to connect from external networks. Then, create a canonical name so that any subsequent subdomains are pointed to the same A record we just created. Now that's done, we can generate our API key. Go to Profile, API Keys, and generate an API token for Zone DNS. Once you have this key, paste it into the file we created earlier. Now we are ready to deploy the services. In your terminal, run the Docker Compose up command to start the containers. The first time, it will take a while to download the images. Once the images are downloaded, it will start the services. Let's give a quick check to the logs in order to catch any errors. Everything looks fine. Let's try and open the user interface. We get a bad gateway error, which sometimes occurs on first runs. The solution is to simply rerun the Mongo setup container. That fixed it. Give a default name to the first admin user. Make sure to call this anything except admin or administrator or any other well-known admin usernames, as this might clash with some inner workings of the API. And that's it. We have deployed an OpenIAP instance on a local network with HTTPS enabled.